been performing for a while. I'm from Las Vegas, so I've been doing shows there for a while over the years. You know, and it's just been such a great experience for me. With the unfortunate events recently, I've had a lot of offers to do a lot of things, to perform a lot more. I'm just trying to give back to the fans so they can remember the magic that was created and that we're going to carry on through the show that we do, the type of show that we do.
Tell us about the person that's underneath the Michael Jackson getup right now. How did this all come about? At what age did you start really appreciating Michael Jackson?
Well, I've been doing it for a while, so it's probably in my 20s. I started, you know, getting into it and doing some things here and there. A lot of people started saying that I look like them, things of that nature, and I kind of dabbled in it here and there and did some things here and there and got myself more into it actually musically. I like his music and just went from that point that it grew. I got into, you know, learning how to do the makeup more, his moves more, studying tapes, pictures, anything of that nature to try to be, you know, better at it.
Is there a specific part of Michael Jackson's career that's a favorite for you, or that you're more drawn to impersonate or mimic, if I may say?
I like probably the Bad album, because I like the Smooth Criminals, you know, the Bad, the way you make me feel. I like those type of songs during that. That's probably one of my, you know, better times that
Along
I like
with
that
millions of other people, right?
Oh, yeah,
and that was really when he revolutionized music and dance and music videos.
Right.
It's such a, you know, with an icon, with a music icon like Michael Jackson, you have people who, you know, can do their version of the moonwalk, or you have people who can do their version of his songs. How do you differentiate yourself from those people?
Well, I try to add a little extra, you know, with my style of dancing. I came up as a street dancer in Los Angeles, so, you know, I had a crew that I danced with and we practiced all the time. So I try to incorporate, you know, mostly the Michael moves, signature moves and things of that nature, but I also try to incorporate my own style that'll kind of separate me from, and it adds a little flavor to the show that I do as well. So, but there's a little separation there that I like to put, you know, my own little signature on that as well.
Who was he for you? Either as a lover of music, of the arts, or as a person? What did he mean
for me?
You?
There's so many different avenues that you can go with that, but for me, I like his creativity, because that's how I like to be, especially in the field that I'm in right now. The creativity is very important. Originality, to always try to be better than you were before the last time, which every artist tries to incorporate, but Michael has a certain way about doing that, that you never think that he can top what he did the last time, but that's what made him so big and so large, is because he was able to do that, and everyone anticipated what he was going to bring next. They really didn't know, but they knew it was going to be better than what he did last time.
Well, at what point did you say, I'm going to be more than an artist that's inspired by Michael Jackson? I'm going to be someone that actually takes on the challenge of impersonating him and bringing him to life. Now, unfortunately, back to life, you know, but giving him justice in that way. At what point did you say, yeah, I want to take that on? Because that's a huge load.
It is, and for me, what happened, I actually went on holiday to think about how I wanted to approach, you know, the recent events, and it was different for me. I had to think about it. I had to have a different format, a different approach to what I do, and I've always wanted people to believe in what they were looking at, but more so enjoy themselves for that moment. But now it's more emphasized for me, where I really want to have them in that moment, just to take them away from whatever, you know, put them in a situation other than their own life and let them see it, because a lot of people have never had the opportunity to see him,
to watch him
in person or anything like that.
Right.
So I want to be as close as possible in that regard, so that people can have the enjoyment. And I take photos with everyone after the show. I will not ever turn anyone away. I try to be everything that you know, they're looking for in that moment. In that moment, yeah, because it lasts. it lasts a long time for a lot of people. It does a lot of things for a lot of people. So I totally understand that.
Do you ever surprise yourself, or do you ever find yourself in shock when you look in the mirror after you finish getting ready and you're like,
There's
at this
been a
point, am I
few
seeing a
times.
ghost?
There's been a few times because me out of makeup, you would walk right by me. But that's the whole thing for me. I like to create that. Of all the shows that I've done, I always take that last look at myself in the mirror before I put the makeup on, and I go, okay, I have to transform this face and change it. And as long as I've been doing it, and as many times as I do it, it never gets old. And for me to see that transformation, it helps me to become that person, to become that character, and totally, I'm not there anymore as myself. So it's a whole transition for me.
It's kind of an out-of-body experience.
It's a metamorphosis type of thing that I have to go through myself, but it's such an easy thing to do because while I'm putting on the makeup, I go, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. When I'm done, I do say wow to myself a lot. There's been a couple times where I've looked at myself in the mirror and just thought,
pretty amazing.
How was I able to pull this off?
Right. I'm just going to take a step back because, Filipinos are huge fans of Michael Jackson and of his music. Are you afraid that at one point or another that there will be a group that may not be able to take in what you're offering and bring someone that they idolize and someone that they hold on a pedestal, bring them back to life? Is that a new challenge that's kind of brought about now since he's passed?
Well, it's still early, so there's still a lot of emotion about the whole thing. I myself have a lot of emotion about it. Every audience is going to be different. Normally I know what to generally expect from an audience when I perform. Now I can't monitor that unless I'm doing the show as I go along, because some people may feel more sad than others. Some people. Everyone has a different emotional input.
How did you deal with the news, being someone that's impersonated him for so long? Did you feel directly influenced, affected?
Well,
how did you take the news?
I'll tell you what happened with me is I was on my way to a friend's house and I got a text message from another friend that had a question mark that said MJ has passed, and it had a question mark. Like they were asking me if it was true, and I just thought it was a friend joking with me, pulling a prank. And I got to my other friend's house, and I said, I got this strange text message. I said, let's turn on the news and see what's going on with that. And I turned on CNN, and they were talking about it.
But it wasn't, as a point that it wasn't really confirmed.
It wasn't a major, and I just thought, well, Michael's exhausted. He's been rehearsing for the upcoming tour. He's exhausted. They'll get him in there, and and at the same time, you can go into a hospital for a Band-Aid, but the stories can get, take their own avenue as far as what really happened. So you really have to wait. It's a really long process. And I remember I had watched it only about a couple of minutes, and the confirmation came through that he had passed. And I just told my friend, just turn the television off. I turned all my phones off. And actually, I went on vacation a couple of weeks after that, and just to deal with it and see where I was going to go, because it was a big.
I think a lot of fans who didn't get the chance to meet him up close and personal, more so really take in his life and make it a part like you have been really emotional.
Yeah, I mean it's different for me. Just dealing with it now.
Yeah.
It's hard, but once I get on stage, it all changes for me.
Well, I apologize for bringing back the emotions.
It's okay.
It's still very much a shock to you, and as much as the rest of the world. If I can, just in the last couple of minutes before we have to say goodbye, can I ask for a little bit? We saw you dance earlier. Is there a song that particularly really strikes a chord with you in your relationship with MJ that you'd like to share a little bit?
Well, I've between just getting in, just the other night, I did a show last night. I did rehearsals, put put a lot of strain, so my vocals are not really up to par. I like, let me see. Another day has gone, I'm still all alone. How could this be? You're not here with me. You never said goodbye. Someone tell me why. So really kind of
Well,
right now.
you know what? Well, that's definitely very much enough for me to want to check out more of you and your shows.
Thank you.
Wiz, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
here
you.
on Mornings.
Appreciate
and
it.
have a fabulous time in the
Absolutely.
Philippines. Please come back after this trip.
I
I'm sure a
will.
lot of people would love to
Thank
see
you
you.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We'll have more news after the break. Keep it here. This is Mornings.